Let's be honest for a second. Most women think loyalty is something you figure out later, after months, maybe years. They look for signs like how often he texts, how sweet he is, how much attention he gives. But here's the truth. Most people don't want to admit. A man who will never cheat doesn't prove it after commitment. He reveals it early, very early. In fact, there is one specific behavior, one pattern, that shows up in the first phase of knowing him. And if it's missing, you're not dating a bad man, but you might be dating a risky one. So today, I'm going to break down the one sign that predicts loyalty more accurately than promises, words, or even feelings. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Let's begin. The behavior is simple, but powerful. It's what I call unfiltered accountability. Here's how it works. A man who will never cheat does something most men avoid. He tells the truth, even when it makes him look bad. Not the big, dramatic truths. Anyone can confess when they're caught. I'm talking about the small moments, the subtle ones, the moments where lying would be easier, smoother, more convenient. Let me give you an example. He forgets to call you. A typical man says, "Sorry, I was busy. Long day." Sounds normal, right? But the man who is wired for loyalty says something different. He says, "I should have called. I didn't manage my time well." Notice the difference? Oh, one protects his image. The other takes responsibility. And that right there is the foundation of loyalty. Because cheating doesn't start with attraction. It starts with avoidance. Avoiding uncomfortable conversations. Avoiding responsibility. Avoiding truth. A man who lies to escape small discomfort will eventually lie to escape big consequences. That's how it builds. Slowly. Quietly. Now here's where most women get it wrong. They focus on how a man treats them. But loyalty isn't about how he treats you when things are easy. It's about how he handles himself when things are inconvenient. Does he admit when he's wrong? Does he own his mistakes without being pushed? Does he stay honest when the truth costs him something? If the answer is yes, you're looking at a rare kind of man. But if he constantly explains, deflects, or reshapes the truth to look better, be careful, because what you're seeing isn't charm. It's a pattern, and patterns don't change under pressure. They reveal themselves. Now let's take this one level deeper. A man who practices unfiltered accountability isn't just honest with you. He's honest with himself. He doesn't need to pretend. He doesn't need to hide. And because of that, he doesn't build a double life. That's the real secret. Cheating requires separation, different stories, different versions, different truths. But a man who lives in honesty cannot maintain that split. It goes against how he operates. And that's why this one behavior matters more than anything else, more than attraction, more than connection, more than chemistry. Because at the end of the day, loyalty isn't a feeling. It's a structure, and that structure is built on truth. So here's the takeaway. Don't just listen to what he says. Watch how he handles the small moments, the late replies, the small mistakes, the uncomfortable situations, because in those moments, he's showing you exactly who he is. And if he can't be real, when it's simple, he won't be real when it's hard. And that's where everything breaks. So choose carefully, because the man who will never cheat doesn't convince you with words. He reveals himself through consistency, through honesty, through accountability, long before you ever have to question him. And once you learn to see that, you stop guessing and start understanding. This is Love Talks Nation, where we don't follow emotions, we understand them.